As King Charles III's health suddenly took a turn for the worse, the entire royal family was enveloped in a heavy atmosphere of worry and anxiety. Public appearances dwindled, schedules were canceled without notice, and the gates of Windsor Palace closed tighter than ever. No one outside the family knew the true extent of the king's condition, only that he was battling a serious illness and time was running out. In his final hours, with only a few trusted confidants by his side, the king left behind a last wish. But instead of being revealed immediately after his death, its contents have only now come to light. The keeper of this secret was none other than Princess Anne, the king's own sister, who had quietly and devotedly stood by his side throughout his reign. When Princess Anne decided to disclose this wish, Prince William, the heir to the throne, could not conceal his pain and shock. What did Anne reveal that caused the future king to break down? Join us as we explore the details behind this powerful moment and its profound impact. After more than 7 decades of reigning over the empire, Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022, an event that shook the United Kingdom. The gates of Buckingham Palace closed on a golden era and opened a new, uncertain reign. Charles, the eldest son, officially ascended the throne after a lifetime of waiting. Yet, the crown he had longed for all those years was not glory but a cold burden. Charles did not ascend the throne amid cheers but under the skeptical gaze of the public, amid whispers questioning his worthiness for the position left by his legendary mother. He did not merely inherit the throne, he inherited an untouchable legacy. Every step, every decision, every breath was watched, as if the world awaited a single misstep to pass judgment. Overshadowed his entire life by a beloved queen, Charles now faced the very destiny he had once craved. Instead of peace, the throne Charles received was a silent battle, a fractured royal family, a divided public, and a monarchy teetering in a modern crisis. He dreamed of reform, a leaner, dynamic, and more connected royal family. But not everyone embraced his vision. His innovations were seen as a break from tradition, a dangerous move in a fragile moment. Then, in 2023, devastating news struck like a storm in a turbulent sea. King Charles was diagnosed with cancer. The palace kept details under wraps, but the public and media quickly noticed their king was fading day by day. Public appearances grew rare, his face gaunt, his gaze distant. The weight of the crown was no longer a symbol of glory, but a cruel reminder of the limits of body and time. In early 2024, Charles quietly stepped back from duties, ceding the stage to familiar faces: Princess Anne, his loyal sister, a silent shadow, Prince William and Duchess Kate, the true heirs preparing to step into the light. No official statement was made, but everyone understood a quiet transition was unfolding behind ancient stone walls. Charles remained king, but in name only. His speeches grew shorter, rarer. His pensive face was no longer a symbol of strength, but of endurance. He was living out the final days of his reign in silence and reflection on what he had achieved and what would forever remain unfinished. Amid it all, one person stayed by his side: Princess Anne. She needed no spotlight, demanded no praise. Yet she was the one Charles trusted completely. When everything cracked, she was the only unshakable anchor. And as the king faced the harsh reality of illness and age, he made a decision known only to a select few, a final secret, a wish unspoken. The question arises, what secret is this reserved woman holding for the king? And how will the fate of the British monarchy be written from the shadows of the palace? Those answers remain hidden behind gates never opened to outsiders. Certain moments in royal history feel especially significant, and one is unfolding now, without fanfare. Instead of a grand spectacle, it is marked by the quiet presence of someone who shuns attention: Princess Anne. To grasp the meaning of what's happening, we must examine her life, defined by diligence rather than media spotlight. Born in the palace, raised amid the scrutiny and cold rules of the monarchy, Princess Anne, daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, chose from childhood a path few dared, one devoid of glamour. While other royals plunged into the media whirlwind, basking in glory and waving to flashing cameras, Anne quietly retreated into the shadows, tying herself to duty, work, and absolute loyalty. She needed no fairy tale, no stage, no applause. She needed only a packed schedule, sturdy shoes, and a heart that never surrendered. Year after year, Anne stood silently behind every royal activity, representing the crown at hundreds of events. Large and small, no complaints, no haughty glances. Then, in 1976, she did the unthinkable. She became the first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games, riding an equestrian eventing at Montreal. No privileges, no favors, just grueling training and steely resolve. Though she won no medal, Anne proved that strength doesn't come from blue blood, but from sweat, sacrifice, and an unyielding spirit. Amid shifting tides, as the palace reeled from scandals and internal strife, Anne remained an immovable rock. While others were swept into media dramas, she stayed silent and kept working. While others feigned sincerity in public, Anne was blunt, sharp, and genuine in private conversations. Her power lay not in words, but in the trust others placed in her. But then something happened. A final decree was entrusted by King Charles as he faded from the spotlight due to illness. None other than Anne was chosen to deliver the most critical message about the monarchy's future. The secret meeting took place at Sandringham in early 2025. Charles was absent, too weak to appear, but William, Catherine, and other senior figures were present. A chilling atmosphere enveloped the room. Few spoke, but when Anne stepped forward and began to speak, the room held its breath. No theatrics, no drama, just truth spoken by the only one everyone trusted. Anne spoke of the great expectations Queen Elizabeth II had once entrusted him. She mentioned the quiet admiration the Queen held for Catherine, the woman who shines without a crown, who influences without needing power. And Charles, before retreating, saw it too. He believed in Catherine not just as a daughter-in-law, but as a steadfast pillar beside the future king. So, what was this message? Why did it leave Prince William, the heir to the throne, unable to hide his turmoil? And why was Anne, of all people, chosen? The palace has never been quieter, but everyone senses a silent wave is rising. A new turning point approaches. And as Princess Anne's calm voice echoes through the cracks of power, all understand she is no longer just in the background. She holds the key to the royal family's future. As Anne spoke, everyone in the room listened carefully. William's face revealed a different expression. He wasn't shocked by the information, but he appeared deeply emotional. He had long relied on Catherine for private support. Hearing those same feelings expressed publicly by his father and aunt was a different experience. It was a reminder that others had also noticed what he had long recognized. Anne's message was powerful because it was truthful, needing no drama or excitement. It was a subtle moment that shifted the room's atmosphere. Everyone sensed the weight of what was said. Catherine, usually in the background and not seeking attention, unexpectedly became the focus of something profound. Catherine remained steadfast through all the ups and downs. She earned trust not through speeches or grand gestures, but through unwavering dedication. Anne's words highlighted Catherine as a key supporter and pillar of the monarchy as it moved forward. When Anne finished speaking, there was no applause. Instead, there was a sense that something significant had occurred. At that moment, the king's message became a subtle yet powerful signal of who would lead the royal family forward. But why Princess Catherine? To understand this, we must examine how she reached this point. Catherine Middleton was born on January 9, 1982, at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading. She grew up in a close-knit family valuing tradition and ambition, with parents working in aviation. Catherine was the eldest of 3 siblings, with her brother James and sister Pippa. Her family had ties to British aristocracy, with some great-grandparents having hosted royalty. Meanwhile, her mother's family had ancestors who worked in coal mines. This diversity in her background shaped Catherine's upbringing, blending ambition with humility. In 1984, at age 2, her family moved to Amman, Jordan, where she attended an English-language nursery school. After a few years, they returned to England, and Catherine enrolled at St. Andrew's School near Pangbourne. She enjoyed her time there, eventually becoming a part-time boarder as she grew older. In 1987, her mother started Party Pieces, a mail-order party supply business that became successful and family-owned. And as a teenager, Catherine explored new pursuits and various interests. In 1998, her family moved to Bucklebury, a quiet Berkshire village. She attended Downhouse School before transferring to Marlborough College in Wiltshire. Catherine excelled in sports, particularly field hockey, and became captain of the girls' team. She earned a Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award and participated in various school clubs. During this time, she underwent a minor medical procedure on her head. Instead of heading straight to college, Catherine took a gap year to study in Florence and volunteer on a service project in Chile. She also briefly worked as a deckhand. In 2001, she began her studies at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. Initially majoring in psychology, she later shifted to art history. While in school, she balanced studies with a part-time waitressing job and volunteered for a student charity group. In 2005, she graduated with high honors, earning a Master of Arts degree in art history. In 2001, Catherine Middleton met Prince William at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, marking the start of a significant change in her life. Both students living in St. Salvador's Hall, they formed a connection that would shape their future. The following year, Catherine walked in a university charity fashion show, catching William's attention. Their relationship began in 2003, growing stronger as they studied together. In their second year, they shared an apartment with friends before moving to a house on the Strath Tyrone estate with two other roommates. In 2004, they briefly parted, but soon reunited. Their relationship faced challenges. After university, Catherine faced intense media scrutiny, with reporters hounding her and her family. Despite the pressure, she remained composed, working part-time as an accessories buyer at Jigsaw, a fashion company, and helping manage her family's business website and catalog. She regularly attended royal events to support William, including his 2006 graduation from the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, and various family occasions. In 2010, they moved to a cottage in Anglesey, Wales, where William trained with the Royal Air Force. During a 2010 Kenya vacation, William proposed with Princess Diana's engagement ring. Their engagement was announced in November 2010. Catherine joined the Church of England in March 2011, and on April 29, 2011, they married at Westminster Abbey. Watched by millions worldwide, Catherine wore a stunning Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen dress, becoming Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cambridge. The couple received Armour Hall from the Queen and lived in Nottingham Cottage, London, before moving to Kensington Palace's renovated apartment 1A in 2013. They relocated to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor in 2022. In December 2012, Catherine's first pregnancy was announced, complicated by severe morning sickness, requiring hospitalization. Prince George was born in July 2013, followed by Princess Charlotte in May 2015, and Prince Louis in April 2018, despite similar health challenges. Catherine and William have fostered a loving environment for George. Charlotte and Louis, now second, third, and fourth in the line of succession after Queen Elizabeth II. The family, fond of animals, owns two English Cocker Spaniels, Lupo and Orla. However, Princess Catherine's journey has not been without challenges, including a major health issue. Princess Anne was always a steady figure in the royal family, but in 2024 it was Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who faced an unexpected challenge that touched people worldwide. Known for grace and dedication, Catherine suddenly withdrew from public view. The palace cited recovery from planned abdominal surgery, suggesting a swift return. But as days turned to weeks, then months, she missed events. William canceled appearances, and updates ceased, sparking concern. On March 22nd, Catherine appeared in Windsor, sitting simply on a wooden bench, hands in her lap. Speaking gently yet emotionally, she revealed her cancer diagnosis and precautionary chemotherapy. Her words, from a mother and wife facing a personal struggle, were raw and honest. Not in a palace or with grand speeches, her sincerity resonated globally, offering solace to those facing illness. Her familiar smile carried new depth, reflecting courage as a princess, mother in person. Prince William stood by her, shaped by his mother's loss, balancing royal duties with family support for Catherine and their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. Even absent, Catherine's passion for mental health and childhood development persisted. Friends noted her quiet involvement in her causes during treatment. Many focused on her health struggle, overlooked her long-standing strength, honed through years of service and purposeful action. Before royalty, Catherine worked with UNICEF in 2007 using photography to highlight children's challenges, and raised £100,000 for Oxford Children's Hospital in 2008 via a roller disco fundraiser. These weren't glamorous efforts, but genuine acts of care. Her 2011 marriage to William amplified her duties, but her approach remained unchanged. Their wedding channeled donations to 26 charities, turning their union into a platform for good. Catherine used her platform to champion causes, not herself. With William, she launched the Royal Foundation, supporting conservation, military families, and mental health. She didn't just lend her name, she engaged deeply, listening and learning. Her involvement reshaped perceptions of modern royalty as approachable and connected. Catherine's mental health advocacy shone through the 2016 Heads Together campaign with William and Prince Harry, destigmatizing mental health discussions. She supported mentally healthy schools, equipping teachers to aid students' emotional well-being, driving change in schools and homes. Her passion for early childhood led to the 2021 Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, emphasizing the first 5 years' impact. The 23 Shaping Us campaign urged adults to nurture children with love and stability. Catherine speaks on childhood with a mother's wisdom and a leader's resolve. Since 2012, she has supported East Anglia's children's hospices, bringing warmth during Children's Hospice Week. Her 25 Big Questions survey, with over 500,000 UK respondents, deepened understanding of early experiences' lifelong effects. Her efforts are thoughtful, well-planned, and authentic. Catherine supports not only children and mental health, but also various causes. In 2015, she patronized the Royal Air Force Air Cadets, fulfilling the role with dedication. She helped start Coach Corps, teaching youth to be sports coaches, promoting fitness and providing guidance. She shows her passion for the arts at the National Portrait Gallery, bringing creativity to communities. With William, she launched our Frontline during the COVID-19 pandemic to support emergency workers' mental health. In global crises, like Ukraine or Turkey, Catherine has aided relief efforts, showing solidarity. But could Princess Catherine truly outshine Prince William? Is he threatened by his wife? Catherine has captured the royal spotlight with her elegance, grace, and inner strength, winning over the British public and palace insiders. Initial applause has grown into widespread support. With each appearance, Catherine shines brighter, sometimes overshadowing William. Some question whether her rising influence could threaten William's position. Could she be more than a queen consort? The monarchy has always balanced monarch, consort, and their roles. Yet, Catherine's growing popularity disrupts this balance. Her public appearances draw crowds not just for her style or warmth, but for her substance, her duty, and genuine connection. William's formal approach contrasts with Catherine's welcoming nature. Observers note moments when Catherine's popularity overshadows William's, a poignant London charity speech, a children's hospital visit, stealing headlines, or a royal tour where her actions draw focus. Even together, media often highlight Catherine's words over William's. It's not a competition, but it's noticeable. Within the palace, Catherine grows closer to senior royals. Queen Camila admires her, and even the reserved Princess Anne praises her commitment. These ties, subtle but significant, bolster her influence. Catherine navigates duties scandal-free, maintaining a stellar public image. Speculation swirls about Catherine taking a larger role, potentially wielding official or unofficial power. Unlike past queen consorts who supported from behind, Catherine walks beside William, sometimes leading. Public sentiment on social media lauds her strength and relatability. Analysts question who embodies the modern monarchy. Though William is next in line, Catherine symbolizes a kinder, more relatable royalty. This raises concerns about her overshadowing him, potentially destabilizing the monarchy's future. Some sources suggest tension, with William feeling eclipsed by Catherine's prominence. Her solo engagements in mental health, childhood development, and community outreach position her as a standalone royal force. The idea of Catherine as a queen with real influence, not just a title, gains traction. While rooted in tradition, the monarchy bends to public opinion, which currently favors Catherine. Could her popularity challenge William if the public prefers her? Might William need to redefine his image as a leader, not just Catherine's partner? As this unfolds, the public watches closely. Each of Catherine's appearances feels like a shift in the monarchy. Loyal to the crown, she may also shape its path. Rumors grow not of rebellion, but of progress. As the throne enters a sensitive transition, questions about Catherine's true role are no longer mere gossip. With King Charles entrusting hopes to his daughter-in-law over his son, and the public's gaze fixed on Catherine more than William, a new dynamic quietly forms. Is this the start of a monarchy no longer bound by patriarchal tradition, but led by the one with the greatest resolve and influence? Catherine, calm, sharp, and unassuming, is becoming the heart of the British monarchy in a way few anticipated. This begs the question, who truly shapes the throne's future? Follow this journey, for we may be witnessing a new era quietly being written not through force or conflict, but through the silent strength of a woman who never needed a crown to shine. Share your thoughts and follow for more developments. At the age of 77, Queen Camilla made a confession that sent shockwaves through the world. "He is the love of my life." But who exactly was she talking about? Was it King Charles III, her longtime companion, and now the most powerful man in Britain? Or was it the shadow of her former husband, a figure she may never have truly let go of, in a royal family known for its secrets and complicated relationships? Such a simple sentence suddenly feels like a key to a far more tangled and hidden story. Could Camilla have been quietly harboring feelings for someone else all these years? Or was this her way of finally claiming her place in the heart of the king? The question remains unanswered, sparking waves of speculation and intrigue. And it is within these mysteries that the truth begins to emerge, peeling back the curtain on a royal love story far more complex than the public has ever imagined. Are you ready to uncover it? Born on July 17, 1947 in London, Camilla Rosemary Shand was the daughter of a family belonging to the British upper class. She spent her early childhood moving between two different homes. One was a large country house called the Lanes, located in Plumpton, East Sussex. The other was a city home in South Kensington, London. Her family was very well connected and came from an upper-class background. Her mother, Rosalind, came from a noble family and was the daughter of Roland Cubitt, the third Baron Ashcombe. Meanwhile, her father, Major Bruce Shand, had served in the British Army before choosing a career in business. After leaving the Army, he entered the wine business. He worked with several companies in London and in Hastings. One of his important roles was as a partner in a respected wine firm called Block, Gray and Block, based in Mayfair. Later on, he joined another well-known company, Ellis, Son and Vidler. His work in this field made him respected and successful in business circles. Camilla had a younger sister named Annabel Elliot and a younger brother named Mark Shand. The family lived in comfort and enjoyed a life full of tradition and privilege. Her great-grandmother, on her mother's side, Alice Keppel, had once been closely linked to King Edward VII. Camilla's mother gave a lot of her time to helping others. She worked as a volunteer at the Chaley Heritage Foundation, which helped children with disabilities. She continued this work during the 1960s and 70s, showing deep dedication. Camilla was baptized on November 1, 1947, at St. Peter's Church in Firle, East Sussex. Her early years were filled with both comfort and excitement. She loved reading, and her father often read books to her. She was also very interested in horses. At a young age, she began learning to ride by going to pony club camps. As a child, I could probably ride before I could walk. I was brought up with ponies. She quickly became good at it and joined local events known as gymkhanas. She proudly brought home rosettes for her riding skills. Her childhood was shaped by long days spent outdoors, often in the countryside. She enjoyed the wide open spaces and the peaceful lifestyle that came with her family's wealth. The Shan household had staff to help with cleaning, cooking, and gardening. The family also took part in local activities and hosted summer parties for the Conservative Party Association in their garden, welcoming guests with ease and charm. When she was 5, Camilla began attending Dumbrells, a coeducational school in the village of Ditchling. At 10, she moved on to Queen's Gate School in London, which was close to her family's home in the city. There, she became known as Mila to her classmates. Among the students was the future singer Twinkle, who later spoke about Camilla's strong presence. Camilla stood out as someone with calm strength and confidence, even at a young age. One of her French teachers, the writer Penelope Fitzgerald, saw her as bright and full of energy. Still, Camilla left school in 1964 with only one O-level. Her parents did not insist she continue her studies. Instead, they sent her to a finishing school in Tolochenaz, Switzerland. The school, called Montfertile, helped young women learn manners and social skills, preparing them for life in high society. After her time in Switzerland, she spent 6 months at the British Institute in Paris studying French and French literature. This gave her a better understanding of the language and culture. In 1965, when she was 17, Camilla was formally introduced to high society as a debutante. She joined more than 300 other young women in this traditional ceremony, which marked their entrance into the social world of the upper class. As she grew older, Camilla slowly began living on her own. She first moved into a small flat in Kensington, sharing it with her friend Jane Wyndham. Later, she moved into a larger apartment in Belgravia. She lived there with Lady Moira Campbell, the daughter of the 4th Duke of Abercorn. At another point, she shared the flat with Virginia Carrington, who had once been married to Camilla's uncle, Lord Ashcombe Querham. Virginia was already familiar with Camilla's family and remained close to them. Camilla began working as a secretary, holding jobs with several companies in London's West End. Later, she worked as a receptionist for the decorating firms Sybil Colfax and John Fowler, based in Mayfair. That job didn't last long, as she reportedly lost it for showing up late after going to a dance the night before. Although her jobs didn't always work out, she stayed very involved in the things she loved. Her passion for horses never faded. She continued to ride and take part in equestrian events. Along with riding, she enjoyed painting and even took private lessons, but she was often hard on herself and threw away many of her paintings. Her hobbies didn't stop there. She also liked fishing, gardening, and growing plants. These activities matched the lifestyle she had known since childhood, especially her connection to nature and the countryside. Through these years, Camilla's life was shaped by a mix of wealth, tradition, and personal growth. She learned how to manage on her own while still staying close to the world she had grown up in. Even though she came from a well-known family and followed many of its customs, she also showed she had her own strong and confident character. She moved through life carefully, balancing her background with her growing independence. The initial spark. Camilla Shan met Irish Parker Bowles in the late 1960s through his younger brother, Simon. At the time, Simon worked for her father's wine business in Mayfair. Andrew served as a lieutenant in the Blues and Royals, which was part of the Elite Guards division. Their relationship started slowly but continued over the years with many ups and downs. They often drifted apart only to come back together again. Despite these periods of separation, their engagement was announced in 1973, appearing in the social pages of the Times. It was believed that their families played a strong part in the engagement announcement. Some said that the families had arranged the notice and sent it out without even asking Andrew and Camilla. This surprising act seemed to push Andrew to propose officially, and soon the wedding was planned. They were married on July 4, 1973 in London at the Guards Chapel at Wellington Barracks. The chapel, known for its ties to the Roman Catholic faith, was an important and symbolic place. The event turned into one of the biggest high society weddings of the year. It brought together around 800 guests, many from the most powerful families in Britain. Members of the royal family were also present. Among them were Princess Anne, Princess Margaret, and the Queen Mother. Everything was beautifully arranged, and each detail was planned to reflect the couple's standing in society. Camilla wore a lovely gown designed by Belleville Sassoon, a well-known fashion house favored by noble families. The celebration itself was grand and elegant. Every part of the day showed the social rank of the couple. At the time of the wedding, Camilla was 25 years old and Andrew was 33. After their wedding, Andrew and Camilla moved to Wiltshire. They first bought Bolahide Manor in the village of Allington, a peaceful countryside home. Later, they moved to Middlewick House in Corsham, another large estate. Their life in the countryside fit the traditional lifestyle of the British upper class. The couple had 2 children together. Their son Tom was born on December 18, 1974. Their daughter Laura arrived a few years later on January 1, 1978. Tom held a special connection to the royal family, as King Charles III became his godfather. Both children were raised in the Roman Catholic faith, a decision mainly influenced by Andrew's mother, Anne Parker Bowles. Even though the children followed the Catholic tradition, Camilla herself remained an Anglican and never chose to convert. As time passed, the marriage began to show signs of strain. By the early 1990s, the cracks had grown wider. The bond between Andrew and Camilla had weakened. After 21 years of marriage, they officially began divorce proceedings in December '94. For years, they had been leading mostly separate lives, each moving in their own direction. During this sad period, Camilla also faced another personal blow. Her mother, Mamalasio, Rosalind, passed away in July 1994 due to osteoporosis. This loss made the time even more painful for her. The legal side of the divorce moved fairly quickly. By January 1995, the petition was accepted in London at the High Court Family Division. A couple of months later, in March that same year, the divorce was final. Andrew Parker Bowles did not stay single for long. In 1996, he married Rosemary Pittman. They remained together until Rosemary's passing in 2010. Before marrying Parker Bowles, Camilla had already met Prince Charles. Their first meeting happened in the middle of 1970. At that moment, Andrew had temporarily ended his relationship with Camilla and was seeing Princess Anne. Although Charles and Camilla moved within the same social world and often attended the same events, they had not officially met until a shared friend, Lucia Santa Cruz, introduced them. Their first meeting happened at Santa Cruz's home, and from there, she said, things developed quickly. As they spent more time together, their friendship grew stronger. They were often seen together at public events. Their shared love for horses and their similar upbringings helped them connect easily and naturally. Their relationship moved forward steadily. Charles was introduced to Camilla's family, and she met some of his relatives as well. But in early 1973, Charles left to serve in the Royal Navy, which demanded all of his attention. This period of separation made it difficult for them to keep their connection strong. By the time he returned, their relationship had faded. Their time together had meant something important to both, but outside pressures shaped the direction of their lives. Even though the romance ended, their bond didn't disappear completely. Over the years, they continued to cross paths. Their history lingered in the background as their lives unfolded in public and private. That early relationship remained the beginning of a story that would later take on a new shape. The dynamics between Camilla and her ex-husband. Camilla was already emotionally close to Charles long before she married Andrew. Her feelings for Charles were deep and strong, and they never truly faded. Even as she moved forward with her marriage to Andrew, her heart remained tied to someone else. On the surface, it looked like she was settling into a new chapter of life. But deep inside, she stayed connected to Charles. Her marriage to Andrew was not built on the same kind of love. It seemed more like a decision shaped by logic, comfort, and social expectations. Andrew, at the same time, lived a life that revolved around his military career and active social circles. He appeared to enjoy his freedom, both personally and professionally. He wasn't the type to share much about his feelings, and the world around them never fully understood what went on between him and Camilla. Many believed that Andrew had some idea about Camilla's continued bond with Charles. Some thought he tolerated it as long as it stayed hidden. Others felt he was never truly aware of how strong that connection still was. Their marriage was often viewed as something practical. People said Camilla chose Andrew because he offered her security. He came from a strong and respected family, had the right background, and seemed like a stable choice. But even with all those qualities, her love for him never matched what she felt for Charles. They shared a life, but she was emotionally distant. Her loyalty never really shifted, no matter how many years passed or what roles they played in public. Her love for Charles shaped her thoughts and choices. Even so, man, there were small signs that Camilla did care about Andrew, at least in some way. They stayed married for many years, and she didn't leave him quickly or coldly. This suggested that their relationship did carry some form of connection. Maybe not a passionate one, but something familiar. Their life together continued, even though her heart wasn't truly in it. It was possible they developed a kind of friendship or shared understanding over time, one that allowed them to carry on without much open conflict. Their marriage did not end quickly, and Camilla did not rush to be with Charles. Instead, things moved slowly, carefully over many years. Perhaps they both valued the stability that came from staying together. Maybe neither of them wanted to disturb the public image they had built. Their relationship wasn't fueled by strong feelings, but by routine and duty. It felt more like an arrangement that worked for the time being. They lived together, but with a gap between them that never fully closed. Years later, one of the most unexpected moments came when Andrew attended Camilla's wedding to Charles in 2005. Many people were shocked to see him there. It seemed strange for a man to attend the wedding of his former wife to someone she had loved all along. But Andrew was present, calmly watching the couple begin a life that had once caused so much drama. His presence led to all kinds of talk and rumors. Some said he showed up simply to be polite. Others believed there was a deeper reason, a long-standing agreement or understanding that tied the three of them together. Andrew had always had connections to the royal family, both through his own background and through Camilla. So his appearance at the wedding may not have been a casual gesture. It could have been a deliberate move, done to send a message or settle the past. Being there allowed Andrew to present himself as someone who held no grudges. Even if he had once felt hurt or betrayed, he didn't show it. The event came and went without drama. Any past pain was kept behind closed doors. On the surface, everything looked peaceful. But beneath that calm, there was a long and complicated history. Seeing Andrew at the wedding was a reminder of how long their stories had been linked and how those ties never really disappeared. Andrew came from a world where influence and social structure mattered deeply. His family was used to handling sensitive matters with care. When the affair between Camilla and Charles began, it could have caused a large scandal. But instead of fighting it, some believed Andrew's family chose to stay silent. They might have seen the affair as something that could not be changed. They may have decided that staying calm and keeping things under control was better than creating conflict. In circles like theirs, privacy often mattered more than emotion. Speaking out or confronting someone could damage the family's image. So, rather than push back, Andrew's relatives may have accepted the situation, letting things happen without much noise. This quiet acceptance likely helped keep the affair from becoming a bigger public issue. It allowed the relationship between Camilla and Charles to develop gradually over the years. Andrew's role in all of this seemed carefully measured. From his marriage to Camilla, to the way he handled their separation, to the way he later showed up at her wedding, he acted in ways that showed control and thought. He didn't cause trouble or create scenes. Instead, he seemed to move with the situation, always aware of the bigger picture. He acted with restraint, even if there were moments when he may have felt otherwise. The years passed, and the story unfolded without any explosive moments. There were emotional layers, complex relationships, and unspoken agreements. But through it all, everyone played their parts. Andrew remained a figure who stayed present, but in the background. His actions shaped the outcome in ways that were never loud but always significant. And even though his marriage to Camilla ended, his role in her life and in the life she later built with Charles remained discreetly important, a love that endures. Charles and Camilla's early relationship went through many difficult moments. From the very beginning, there were problems that kept them from staying together. Some believe that Charles met Camilla too early in life. He had his military duties to finish, and he didn't ask her to wait for him. Others said that Lord Mountbatten may have had a hand in keeping them apart. It was believed that he wanted Charles to marry his granddaughter, Amanda Knatchbull, and not Camilla. To stop the relationship, Mountbatten reportedly made sure that Charles was sent far away. At the same time, when Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, did not seem to support Camilla, she was said to have preferred a match with a granddaughter of her close friend, Lady Fermoy. This added more pressure to the already fragile situation. Camilla also had a complicated relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles, which had been going on and off since the late 1960s. Their connection never completely disappeared, which made things even harder. Charles himself didn't seem fully prepared for marriage either. He apparently wanted to wait until he turned 30 before making that decision. Many people close to the royal family believed that, even if Charles had wanted to marry Camilla back then, it would not have been allowed. His cousin and godmother, Patricia Knatchbull, later explained that some palace advisors thought Camilla did not fit the image of a future queen. Despite all this, Charles and Camilla stayed emotionally close. When Lord Mountbatten lost his life in August 1979 to the Provisional Irish Republican Army, Charles was really broken. That loss affected him deeply. And during that time, Camilla was there for him. She became an important emotional support. Many in high society circles started to suspect that their relationship had started again. Some believed the affair restarted in 1980, while others thought it had never truly ended. But even with this closeness, Charles moved forward with a new relationship. He began to court Lady Diana Spencer. Their relationship quickly became a topic of interest for the public. By 1981, they were married in a grand ceremony that millions of people watched. It was a wedding filled with celebration, but underneath the surface, things were not as perfect as on they appeared. Over the next decade, Charles and Camilla's relationship became the center of attention again, this time in a very damaging way. In 1992, a book titled Diana, Her True Story made it clear that Charles had been unfaithful. This was followed in 1993 by the release of a private phone call between Charles and Camilla, which the press labeled as the Camilla Gate scandal. The contents of the call shocked the public. It painted a troubling picture of their closeness, while Charles was still married to Diana. Public reaction was intense. Charles's reputation suffered greatly, and Camilla was harshly judged by newspapers and magazines. In '94, Charles spoke openly in a TV interview. He admitted that by 1986, his marriage had broken down, and that was when his relationship with Camilla had truly resumed. After Charles and Diana separated and later divorced, he became clearer about his bond with Camilla. He didn't try to hide it anymore. Even though the press and public still looked at her with suspicion, Camilla continued to be part of his life. As time went on, Camilla began to appear more often beside Charles. Their first official appearance as a couple came in 1999 when they attended her sister's birthday party at the Ritz Hotel in London. This event attracted large media coverage and marked a big step forward in their relationship. By 2000, she was taking part in more public activities. In 2001, she became the president of the National Osteoporosis Society, a role that helped the public see her in a more positive way. A very important moment came in 2000 when Camilla met Queen Elizabeth II for the first time since her relationship with Charles had become public. This happened during a birthday event for former Greek king Constantine II. That meeting was seen as a major signal that Camilla was starting to be accepted by the royal family. Over the next few years, she slowly became more involved in royal life. In 2002, she joined the Queen's Golden Jubilee celebrations and was even seated in the royal box during a concert at Buckingham Palace. During this time, Charles paid for her personal security, showing how serious their relationship had become. Even though she still owned her home at Ray Mill House, A place she had bought in 1995, she later moved into Clarence's house in 2003. That was Charles's main residence. In 2004, she was regularly seen with him during official events, including their trip to the Highland Games in Scotland, which got a lot of media attention. Over time, people began to wonder if they would soon get engaged. Polls showed that more people were beginning to support their marriage. However, not everyone accepted Camilla. Many people who deeply respected Diana continued to feel hurt by the past. This feeling remained strong, especially online, where negative opinions and mocking content about Camilla spread widely. Even with all of this, Camilla's role continued to grow. She remained close to Charles and became a regular part of royal events, slowly reshaping the way people saw her. Letting go, letting love. From the start, Diana felt something was not right. Camilla was not just someone from Charles's past. She stayed very close, even after Diana and Charles got married. Diana tried very hard to be the best wife. She did everything she could to make her marriage work, and she hoped Charles would love her in the same way. But deep down, she knew that he had strong feelings for someone else. That painful truth slowly wore her down. It hurt her deeply and made her feel left out in her own home. As the months went by, her fears about Camilla never really left her. Diana struggled more and more as time passed. It became harder for her to pretend that everything was fine. Her emotions started showing, and people began to see that she was suffering. She opened up about her pain. She shared how difficult it was to live in a marriage where another woman still had such a strong place. Her words resonated with many people. They had long guessed something was wrong, and now Diana's honesty confirmed it. She did not hide her sadness. She spoke openly about the heartbreak she lived with every day. Charles later admitted to being unfaithful, which made things worse. The truth was out in the open. People looked at Diana with sympathy, and they looked at Camilla with blame. Camilla became the person many held responsible for the problems in the royal marriage. The media followed her everywhere. People judged her very harshly, and she found herself in the middle of a storm she could not escape. Though the focus was often on Diana and Charles, Camilla was also affected deeply. She lived under the weight of public anger and constant attention. There were moments when Diana and Camilla came face to face. One time, Diana confronted Camilla directly. She told her that she knew exactly what was going on. Diana remembered feeling strong in that moment. Even though the situation did not really change afterward, the tension between them remained. That conversation only showed how much Diana was hurting. She wanted to be heard, to be seen, and to matter in a marriage that felt like it was falling apart around her. As things got worse, Diana accepted that Charles's heart was somewhere else. So she began to look for comfort in other places. She formed relationships of her own. She needed love and kindness, something she was no longer getting at home. Charles, meanwhile, stayed close to Camilla. Their connection never faded. Even though people didn't approve, their bond seemed to grow stronger. The royal family tried to manage the scandal, but everything was already too damaged. By 1990, the divorce between Diana and Charles became official. It was the end of a marriage that had once been full of hope and promise. Then everything changed when Diana passed away in 1997. The world mourned her deeply. The public turned their focus away from Camilla, who stepped out of view for a long time. She kept a low profile as the royal family dealt with their grief and the public sorrow. Time passed slowly, and gradually things began to shift again. Charles and Camilla stayed together, though they kept things private. When Clarence's house announced that Charles and Camilla were getting engaged, the news brought a wave of attention. People remembered everything from the past, and many had strong opinions. Charles was next in line to be king. Camilla had been married before, which caused even more debate. Still, the couple moved forward. The engagement was marked with a special ring. It had a large square diamond in the center with 3 smaller diamonds on each side. The ring had belonged to Charles's grandmother, making it very meaningful. Even though the situation was complicated, the engagement went ahead with full support. The Queen gave her approval. The government also agreed. The Church of England, including the decision, even though it had once taken a strict view on such matters. Key figures, including the Queen, the Prime Minister, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, all shared their good wishes. It was an important moment, but it was not easy. Many people still believed in Diana's story. They felt betrayed by her. Camilla and Charles had to move slowly and carefully. They did not rush into public life as a couple. They tried to earn trust step by step. It was not easy for them to many people. It took years for people to accept Camilla for her role in the monarchy. But they stayed together, and their bond never frayed. They chose to walk it together, even when it pained them. The story of Diana, Charles, and Camilla was a long one, filled with deep emotions. Each faced pain, struggles. Diana's sorrow touched the world. Camilla carried the weight of public blame. Charles faced his own choice and its impact. The world watched closely, every step, every word, every moment followed by millions. The past never truly left. However, there's another perspective behind the scenes of Camilla's marriage. For many years, people mostly heard the story of Camilla and King Charles from Princess Diana's side. It always made Camilla look like the person who came between Diana and Charles. The world believed it was a heartbreaking story about a princess who was wronged. But a different side of this story came out later, shared by someone who had stayed out of the spotlight for a long time. This side came from Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's first husband. His version of the events made things more complicated than it seemed. Andrew knew about the affair between Camilla and Charles for years. It was not something hidden in the shadows. Their relationship was openly noticed by people in their social circle. It was not something they worked hard to cover up. Even while Camilla was still married to Andrew, she stayed close to Charles. They saw each other often, spoke openly, and seemed connected in a way that was more than just friendship. Everyone around them quietly understood that there was something deeper going on. Andrew never tried to stop it. He did not make a public scene or act like he was unaware. Instead, he allowed it to continue. Many people wondered why. It did not match the simple idea of betrayal that people had believed for so long. They could not understand why he didn't stop his wife from being with another man. It confused people for years. But his actions, or lack of action, now appeared to have been driven by reasons that had nothing to do with love or forgiveness. Andrew held a very respected position within the Church of England. His reputation mattered a great deal. A scandal involving him could have brought shame not only to himself but also to the church. He had to be careful about how he handled such a sensitive situation. But protecting his image was only part of the reason he remained silent. There was something else. His decision to stay silent might have also brought him personal advantages. Many believe that Andrew chose not to speak out because doing so helped him in the long run. By not creating a public scandal, he was able to make sure that he and his children stayed connected to the royal family. There are claims that his two children with Camilla were given access to certain benefits through their link to Charles. These benefits were never made public, but people believe they included financial support and privileges that only a few families ever receive. These were the kind of things that would help his children live very comfortably. If these rumors are true, it raises serious concerns. Royal money is meant to support official duties and public responsibilities. It's not supposed to be used to secretly help children from a marriage that had nothing to do with the royal line. But it seems that some of that money may have gone toward protecting the children of a private affair. That idea has deeply upset many people. They already felt betrayed after how Diana was treated. Learning that royal money might have been used to cover up the consequences of that affair has only made people more angry and more distrustful of the royal family. The timing of Andrew and Camilla's divorce was very important. They officially ended their marriage in March 1990. That was not just a random date. It lined up almost perfectly with what came after. Just 1 year later, Diana and Charles divorced. It looked very much like everything was planned in a way. The steps were carefully laid out, as if following a schedule. It didn't seem like two marriages simply falling apart by chance. It looked like something organized ahead of time. Andrew has said that his divorce from Camilla was not caused by a broken relationship. Instead, it happened because certain things needed to be done in a specific order. Camilla needed to be free from her marriage before Diana officially left Charles. That way, when Charles and Diana ended things, Camilla was already in a position to be with him. It seemed like everything happened exactly when it needed to, which made people wonder how long this plan had been in motion. Camilla had already faced years of public judgment for being involved in the affair. People blamed her for breaking up the marriage of Diana and Charles. But Andrew's version of events made things even worse. If his story is true, then Camilla wasn't just part of the affair. She may have been right at the center of a long and careful plan to make room for herself in Charles's life. That thought makes the whole story feel very different. It starts to look less like a love story and more like a move that was shaped by strategy and timing. Andrew also painted himself as someone who had been betrayed. He said he was hurt by what happened, but people now wonder whether he really was a victim or whether he played along because it was useful for him. His role in the whole situation feels unclear. He could have spoken up, but he didn't. And by staying quiet, he may have gained more than he lost. Now, the way people look at the royal scandal has changed. The affair between Camilla and Charles was always a hot topic. But after hearing Andrew's account, the story has taken on a new meaning. It no longer feels like a simple love triangle. It seems like a carefully managed situation where several people made choices to protect their own futures. What once seemed like just pain and heartbreak now appears to have been part of something deeper, shaped by control, image, and influence. Writing a new story. Camilla's place in the royal family has always been discussed and often debated. Many people have different opinions about her. Some accept her, while others still look at her with doubt. Even though she works hard for many good causes, some people still focus on the past. They remember the history between her, Charles, and Diana. And this memory shapes how they feel about her today. Over time, some views have changed, but still, many people hold on to old feelings and question why she is part of the monarchy. Even so, she keeps working hard to show that she is more than the past. She has spent many years helping others through her charity work. Her efforts have truly made a difference in people's lives. Those who have seen her work closely admire her. But some people still find it hard to accept her, no matter what she does. The events of the past are still fresh for many, and they continue to affect how people see her today. Even when she does something meaningful, some people look the other way. Still, she has not stopped. She continues to show strength by taking on her role with grace. She handles her duties carefully, and she does not let past events stop her from moving forward. Slowly, she is building her own identity in the royal family. Instead of pretending the past did not happen, Camilla has faced it honestly. This approach has allowed her to slowly change the way people see her. Her work in the royal family is not easy. Every move is judged, but she does not step away from the pressure. She keeps going, knowing that respect and understanding do not come quickly. Over the years, she has shown how strong she can be. She continues to do her work with calm strength, proving again and again that she belongs in her position. Each step of effort shows that she is serious about her duties and determined to keep going, even when others still doubt her. As time goes on, more people have started to notice the way she has adjusted to royal life. Even Princess Anne, known for being serious and focused, has shown appreciation for Camilla's role. This recognition is important. Anne is deeply respected in the royal family. Her work is valued, and she is known for being honest and hardworking. When someone like Anne shows support, it helps people look at Camilla differently. It shows that Camilla is not just filling a spot, she is truly doing the work that is expected of her and doing it well. This change is especially meaningful because Camilla and Anne were never known to be very close. They did not always appear together or share a strong connection in public. But in recent years, small signs of friendship have appeared. These little moments show that Camilla has made real progress in becoming part of the family. Anne's approval shows that Camilla's efforts are noticed and respected within the royal circle. Her journey has not been simple, but she has clearly found a way to earn her place. Since becoming queen consort, Camilla has been looked at even more closely. Every outfit, every word, every event she attends gets attention. People are quick to judge. Even small things can turn into big news. This is why Anne's support matters so much. Camilla has also followed the example of Queen Elizabeth II, taking on her role with a strong sense of responsibility. She has done her best to carry on with honor. She stepped into a role with a heavy past and high expectations, but she has stayed committed, trying every day to do what is right. Through steady effort and care, Camilla has earned a kind of respect that once seemed out of reach. Some royal experts believe that people have begun to see the real her. They believe that her honest approach and deep care for causes have helped her gain support. She does not just follow royal traditions for show. She connects her work to her personal values, which makes her actions feel real and sincere. Charity work has always been a major part of how she uses her role. She has focused on serious issues like domestic violence, education, and health. One cause very close to her is osteoporosis. She has seen how badly this disease can affect lives, especially in her own family. This personal connection has pushed her to speak out, raise money, and support those affected. She has joined hands with groups like the National Osteoporosis Society and Women's Aid to help spread awareness and support victims. Camilla doesn't just lend her name to these causes. She takes part in real activities. She attends meetings, speaks at events, and pushes for change. She puts in time and effort to make sure these issues stay in the spotlight. Her support brings attention to problems that many ignore. By doing this work, she has slowly changed how people see her. They are starting to notice her not only as a royal figure, but also as someone who truly cares. Many who once saw her as an outsider to the royal circle now know she takes her role seriously. She continues to work hard, even if not everyone is ready to accept her. She has not tried to erase the past, but she has chosen to move forward with kindness and care. The life of Queen Camilla is a long and turbulent journey, marked by disapproving glances, years spent hidden in the shadows, and finally, recognition at the highest level of the royal family. Her love story with King Charles is not a sweet fairy tale, but rather a symphony of patience, struggle, and quiet sacrifice. Perhaps it is exactly those experiences that give weight and depth to her confession. He is the love of my life. If you are also curious about the hidden corners of the real lives behind the British royal family, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a single story. Behind the palace doors, there are always truths waiting to be revealed, and we are here to take you deeper into every secret.